That's still mad. Oh, man, okay. Alright, this video I'm going to be breaking down my history a little bit. I've got a video coming up where I'm going to be breaking down more of my Xbox 360 and Xbox Live, like where I started online gaming. I'm going to break that down, all the games I've played, and I've been going through it and seeing the level of games I played in my time, and it's actually got me quite nostalgic. So I thought I'd make this video. Hopefully it comes together quite nicely. Just on the time period, right? To put this into perspective, this is like 2007, right? This is kind of like when the Xbox 360 first came out. The internet was not a big thing. I think MySpace was still a thing. Facebook was like definitely not a thing. Internet was not strong. You didn't have HD videos. Everything was in 240p, at best 360p. That was as much as you got. YouTube had only just come out. There were not many videos on YouTube. Mobile phones were like, probably the iPhone had just come out, the first like sort of iPhone or around there. You know, people still had like iPods and a phone. We were talking like a real different time here, to put in perspective. And one thing I want to put into concern, which I'm going to be following a series on, about spotting cheaters in basically current day and age. This is where my experience comes from, because back then we didn't have cheating. People that were cheating were maybe on PC, and to get those cheats they had to be doing something a bit dodgy. You couldn't just go onto a website and buy them. Things are a lot different now, and I think this is what a generation among us don't seem to realise, that people like myself have played a lot of games. And this is one we'll break down Gears of War in this video, because this is the one I played for MLG ladder for years, for about 2 years, and this game has a bit of my heart in it, and that's what I'm going to break down in this video. So if you like this video, please leave a like. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and I'm going to go into it a bit here. So I was kind of just talking about there, basically playing on Xbox Live, and where I got started. And I got started on the original Xbox, and then I eventually, basically through playing a few multiplayer games on that, I moved into the Xbox 360. I didn't straight away get Gears of War because it wasn't out yet. I believe Call of Duty 2 was my main online shooter back then. And believe it or not, Call of Duty hasn't changed that much. And there was no such thing as cheating on console back then at all, whatsoever. It's all very slow and steady. And then we basically moved in. I think I had Perfect Dark Zero as well. They're my first two online games that got me going when a 360 just came out. Fun fact, I had 3 Xbox 360s and they all red ringed eventually. I think the second one lasted a long time, and that actually was the same one that got repaired. And then the third one I got was it was a brand new console. It was like the updated version, and that eventually died after about a year. And at that point, our kind of clan had sort of faded out, and I'd stopped with so much of the competitive ladder and like Gears of War, and I kind of moved on a little bit from that. So I just moved to PlayStation 3 at that point. But staying on track, I wanted to show footage here. This is of a guy in the day. Now, I would regard myself in Gears of War as one of the best snipers in Europe. I was definitely marked in the day as about top 3. I'm not trying to be arrogant and toot my own horn here. If anyone is actually going to, I don't think any of my old clan are going to watch this. If you do, thumbs up, guys, that's awesome, but I doubt it. But basically, the European ladder for MLG, I can't remember the website. It was Battles or Net Battles. It was not BattleNet. It might have been. It was something like that. I can't remember the website name. It was like battlestation.net or something like that, or even like Clan Battles or something. I can't remember. But anyway, this was a website that was hosted by MLG. It's probably still around. And you could basically organize matches, and they would be certified, and you had admins if things went wrong, and it was all monitored as a competitive level, and your clan had its position on a ladder, and you could literally just vote to have matches with other clans, and it was a really nice competitive scene. I first started with friends. I first started with just a few friends to do a bit of fun. I can't remember really where I'd seen it. And Gears of War, I was having the time of my life with this game. This game was revolutionary in its day. I'll just show you this clip here. And what I became quickly about is the shotgun's a big deal in this game. I was not so strong with the shotgun. I was okay, but pistol and the sniper was my shit. If I didn't get an average about 7 or 8 headshots a match, I would be pretty. I would consider that match I did really bad performance. Put it that way. But for generally, I basically got the sniping down to a T. In this game, whether it be zoomed in or out of zoom, it really had a nice sort of headshot hitbox, and really gave off some really awesome moments of basically just being able to clutch it. People weren't ready for some of the shots you could do, basically, if you knew it. So like shots like that were just pure gold, because that guy was not safe. And this montage is going to be blurry, I'm afraid this is what it is. But this is kind of the level I was performing at, if not a bit better in my day. And I really look fondly back on these sort of memories and how far we've come. Like Gears, even the latest Gears game is nothing on, you know, it's completely different to this. It's a shell of its former self. But back then, this was next gen. There was nothing really like this in the third person competitive scene. You know, Fortnite or anything wasn't around. You hadn't got anything like that. And no, it was a really, really good time. We had some amazing matches, close matches. You know, they would get sometimes matches would just be completely toxic, you're throwing trash at each other. Other matches you'd both be completely cool. Sometimes a team would be completely cool and then they'll end up lying on the battle website, and you'd have to fucking get an admin in and sort it all out, because they would say they won when they didn't. And it became a thing of having to have screenshots of like every single round, because people might try and cheat and tell a lie on online and try and screw you around, because the ladder put you into different brackets, and it eventually, I think in tournaments for example, it would put you into different ladders and things. So it was quite competitive even back then. The tournament I actually ended up going to in Birmingham when I was 16 years old. This was after our clan. So what I do, I'm getting a bit sidetracked here, so I'm kind of a bit faded with what's going on in my head. I haven't written any of this down, I'm just going as we do. Basically, I started out with a clan with friends, and we did it as a bit of fun. I found myself, even though we won a few games, just doing silly mistakes that shouldn't happen, bad communication. One of the guys was actually my good friend at school, and he wasn't actually, bless him, the best gamer. He was more in it just as a casual. And so that was at my point where I found, right, okay, I've got to find a better team. We had recently beaten a team called what were they called? No, my team was called Out of Control. I was called Out of Control, Mr. Kipling. And I say we did okay for a little while. But what I then moved into is I played a clan called like the Ballistic, I can't even remember what we were called, Ballistic something, I can't remember. But basically we were called like Ballistic, this could have been Ballistic. And we ended up, there were 3 Scottish guys, or 4, I don't know if they had a 4th or what, but there were 3 Scottish guys, and they were doing tryouts, and I thought, fuck it, you know, these guys I thought were good. I know 1 or 2 of them gave me a hard time in the clan match. I thought I'd go and give them a tryout, and basically the rest is kind of history. We ended up being quite a strong team. From what I remember rightly, we didn't ever win a tournament, but goddamn, we came like 2nd or 3rd quite a bit. We were quite renowned as being a strong team. But when it came to the actual MLG LAN, I'd never really played, because internet was so bad back then. My internet particularly was awful. I think I had like 0.2 of a megabyte, something like that. And if someone was to open a website, it would glitch out my game hard. Like it would literally make the game unplayable. We're in a different day and age now. You can watch Netflix in the other room and things if you've got a good internet connection, and you know it's nothing the wiser. But back then this game was notoriously a bit laggy. And it did matter the strength of your connection, as it kind of very much does now to a degree. So like shots like that, there's kind of a delay between the headshot, and I got used to this delay. Whereas when it came to LAN, this is one of those games that very much had a host advantage. So if you're the host, your shots were immediate. Your shots connected immediately. There was no having to guess where he's going to be, like that shot there. It was literally, you have to actually wait a bit longer till the head's quite up. So there was a difference between players that played on host. I could never host, obviously, because I just told you my internet speed. Some players back then could host. Our team leader could host, Crazy. He was a legend. We had Ballistic, like Crazy. I think I was Mr. Kipling back in the day. I can't remember what Billy was called, bless him, and I can't remember what Stewie was called, but yeah, it was Stu. But yeah, this is it. We basically ended up going to this tournament. We ended up staying at a hotel. I think it was like a 2-day tournament. We came 4th. We came fourth, and you know the really, really, really horrible thing about it? I choked it hard. It came to 1v1 last round. I think we were tied on the game with this squad we were in, and it was basically for the finals. We came fourth. I got knocked out for it, but it came to a shotgun battle, not too far where that last scene was, against basically a 1v1, and I basically fucked it. I think I railed the guy twice and then missed the following 3 shots. And he just fucking cleaned me off, and that was that, and they went into the final. I think at that point there was a £4,000 prize draw for that competition. Needless to say, my team didn't really kind of let me down over that, or let it down over that, because that was a hard moment. But this goes back to it. I wasn't used to playing on this LAN network. I was waiting for the sort of lag, and so my shots were just like clearing past him. I'd never really played on host, so that was my disadvantage. But that's also, I guess, a brief history in my career in MLG. This is kind of where it really got me to flex my skills. We played sweaty, right? We would do scrims pretty much every night, and then we'd do competitive games at the weekend. There was not a night we were not playing Gears of War for probably at least 4 hours or more. It was an insane time. I bought back in there, you had to get a VGA adapter for the Xbox 360 to play in an actual HD monitor. Before that, I played on the 28 or 27 inch CRT TV, and that was quite nice actually. That wasn't too bad. The quality's really dropped in this video now, but it is what it is. But I eventually got an ASUS like 19-inch monitor as a cheap upgrade, basically to get HD, because HD was still such a new thing back then. To have like the 1080p HD, the Xbox 360 was really ahead of its time. Wow, the graphics has really taken a hit here. Is it really this bad? I think that's as good as it's getting, really. I don't know why it's gone so bad here. What was I saying? HD. And so what actually ended up happening, I played on that monitor. That monitor was beautiful. I played on that monitor for probably about a year, and then I think one day it just died. The whole thing just died. I can't remember why. It might have had water spilt on it. I'm not too sure. Something killed it, and so I was left without a screen, because I think at that point I got rid of the TV I had before. So I had to use 14-inch CRT monitor, old school monitor at that point, which was, I think, from my first Dell computer when I was like 12 years old or something. And that was what I used. And I remember playing clan matches on this 14-inch monitor and still cracking skulls like all day, just like we're sort of seeing in this footage here. And my guys, I remember Crazy just calling me a beast like all the time, because the amount of times I saved his ass is insane. Not a lot. All my guys were seriously good. I mean, shout out to you if I see any of these guys again. I'd love to play with them again. Unfortunately, I don't think many of them are gamers anymore. Probably got family, all sorts now. But yeah, man, just a crazy time. Like, I say, to look back on it now, I always thought doing this sort of video would be cringy. So if you're watching, thank you very much. It means a lot to me, because it's one of these that I kind of just take a bit of this for granted and think no one will care. Because it's like 10, 15 years ago. But this was such a high point in my gaming career. Such a good time. And I still play Gears 5 occasionally, and it's still got a lot of the charm this game had. It's definitely more of the charm than any of the other Gears that came after Gears 1, for sure. None of us could get into those. I think Gears 2 came out, couldn't do it. Gears 3 came out, couldn't do it. It just didn't feel like this game. This game had a few glitches where you could like pick up guns and still move, and it was just pretty clutchy. With like that, you could just quick scope and shit. It was beautiful. When they slowed it down, they made it heavy. Yeah, beautiful. There you go. So he was peeking because he was blind firing. It wasn't safe. I knew all these dirty tricks, man, like the blind fire in there, man. It's a bit of luck in that, but a lot of it's a lot of it's skill. So basically, I've got a video coming up, as I say, where I'm going to be talking about. I'll reel them off now, because I've written a few, and I've still probably a few I've missed off. I've had to go to my Xbox account and check it out. But I initially started with, when I was 13 years old, Unreal Championship was my first game I got on my Xbox Crystal. I can't remember. Well, I'll do a good video on this. And then we got the Unreal Championship 2 Leandri Conflict was my hype game back then. Rainbow Six, Conker's Bad Fur Day, and Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. They were all games that first games I played on Xbox Live back when, and they were such an amazing experience, such an immersive experience. Everybody had a microphone. There was no cheating. You know, it was all slow paced. It was down to you, the gamer, your internet, which generally back then there wasn't a big deal either, as I say. And then basically moving on to the 360 when that came out, that was mind-blowing with games like Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 3, we had Black Ops 1, we had Black Ops 2, Gears of War, we had Call of Duty World at War, we had Bad Company 1, we had Bad Company 2, what else do we have? Modern Warfare 2, Medal of Honor Airborne, we had Fear 2, that was an awesome scary game, Left 4 Dead, Saints Row 1 and 2, these are all online games I smashed hard, right? We had Unreal Tournament 3, Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and 2, apparently Vegas I think is the one I played the most, I think I had probably easily over thousands of hours in that game. Quake 4, Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter 1 and 2, again that is a game I poured thousands of hours into, awesome game that should really be remade for current era. Chrome Hounds, we had a party, we had a clan of 23 people in Chrome Hounds, one of the most insane games I've played, again nothing quite like that has ever been done again. And that is, again, that actually, of all the games, that is actually the game that had cheaters in it, I will say that for sure. There were like Chinese cheaters in that game because it was a Sega, or it could have been Japanese, I'm not sure, because it was a Sega based game. There was always a lot of saucy Japanese players in that, but they might have just had something we didn't know or something, I don't know. There is something I found out to that, but anyway. Shadowrun, that was an awesome game. Obviously Halo 3 and things like that go without saying, but I did prefer, I was always, Halo 3 was always one of these I bounced between. Shadowrun, when it came out, again, was like the Overwatch of its day, a bit almost like the Fortnite of its day. That was an amazing game. You don't really see anything quite like that anymore, but again, that was of its era. That was kind of one of these games that was boasting crossplay, but it never happened. It was like available on Windows PC and like Xbox 360, but you're meant to be able to play together, and everyone was like, oh my god, that would be amazing, but also unfair. And I think that there's always been that border between, you know, the console should never play keyboard and mouse. Splinter Cell Double Agent and I believe Sniper Elite, I believe it was the second one on there. And maybe 3, I can't really remember. But that's all I've come up with so far. If you like this video, please leave a like, and I'll leave the video there. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.